Welcome back to the Runs podcast, season 2, episode 4, 5,
Five.
5. I know, I put down episode, I had to edit the post last week because it's going so fast. I put down Ben Clarge's episode 3 and then I thought, I seen it. I was like, oh shit, that's episode 4. Bloody hell.
Yeah. You'd be
Flying,
the
February, January's over. That was a long month.
longest month ever.
Oh, it was tough. It was hard work. I just went. Remember the other day I said I need to think of a better way to introduce us, but I'm happy with our introduction anyway. But I thought if we do it in Welsh, that would be funny.
Yeah, because I wouldn't even know what's happening.
But then there's no Welsh word for like going for a run and stuff like that. Run in Welsh is redig. The action to run is redig.
Yeah.
But then I put it into Google Translate because I couldn't think. Tell me if anyone that listens, Arwell, Arlo, anyone else that speaks Welsh. I put it into Google Translate and it said, go for a run, mynd am redig, and that wouldn't make any sense at all.
What's Mindan then? What you seeing as
Go
what it's
for
up? Right.
a run, it wouldn't make any sense. I don't think it does, unless I've actually confused myself. I've texted Arwell to check, but I don't think it does make sense. I think it would just be run in Welsh, like Wenglish. And Welsh is older than English, so they invented the word.
Yeah. So
But
awkward
that's
one.
that's what I was doing before I came on the podcast when I was walking buzz. What's happening? I'm feeling a lot better this week. I did pick up another bug for a couple of days. I had a bad cough and stuff, but I feel all right now.
Yeah, I'm a lot better now. I'm feeling fine that way. Just got a bad back now.
Bad back. It's just bad back as age is now, isn't
I
it?
don't mate, I'm just falling apart. Just nothing's going my way. Go when something else happens. So yeah, bad back. Hopefully it's nothing. Well, it's not. I got seen today. I think it's sciatica. So hopefully it's only a short thing and it doesn't give me too much chip for long, but I'm in absolute agony today. Like I'm alright when I'm sat still, but when I get up or move too much, shooting pains, not nice. So strong painkillers for me.
It's the same shame sciatica is a bad back, isn't it? Because it'd be a good band name, wouldn't it?
I reckon it is a band sciatica.
Definitely has to be. Right, what have we got to catch up on this week? You were back running.
Was.
Yeah, it was. Hopefully, carry on. See how your back goes now. But you looked good. You looked strong. You looked all right.
Yeah, just come down to the Baglan estate with all the boys. The three boys were doing a session, so my boy was joining in on us. So I thought I'd come down, get a 45 minutes in, and yeah, it was all good. Enjoyed it, apart from feeling really unfit, but no issues, calf, hamstring, glute twice. Got around 45, felt like I could have done more, but was being sensible and stopped. And then later on that night, Monday morning, bad back.
Good idea.
Can't write there.
I know. Harvey was in my inbox as soon as I got home. Any photos? Send me all the videos.
Oh, yeah. He said to me as soon as we got in, send me some photos. And I said, I didn't even get my phone up, mate. We was just chatting, me, Blackie and Sam.
It's mad.
Yeah.
They all blow up my inbox like within an hour. Like I got stuff to do as well, boys. I go home.
Yeah, I'm not, this isn't literally what I do.
I go home. I've got to sort. We've got to move them all off memory cards onto the computer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't mind. Some good photos, some good videos. Dan was down there with the drone as well, so we'll see what we can put together for a reel for the E3 boys. Our mates have dropped the E3 tri-suit today. That's looking forward to seeing the boys in that this summer. That's looking really, really good.
Yeah, looked sharp there, fresh. That was the vest, everything that was on the Insta post today looks really nice kit.
It does. Dan got to be careful now because he's in with SVT is getting their t-shirts as well. He can't be taking their title of best kit in Wales and giving them to other teams, but Dan's very good at what he does. Mark Barrow, so watch out, mate.
Yeah, he's got some. That looked like nice. Were they t-shirts? Were they? They looked obviously they were in the packaging, so we only seen them half folded, but they look nice too.
T-shirts, socks, I think. Yeah, lovely work. Excellent. On the I got my rack T-shirt on actually. On the subject of racked, our vests, we will be putting them out for pre-order at the end of this month. I think £33 is a fair price, including postage. And if you don't have postage, then fucking more money for us because you're just supporting the pod anyway. And if you do have postage, but we can hand deliver it, we will. But we're just going to charge everyone around price, and if you don't like it, fuck off.
Nice marketing, guy.
I think it's quite a reasonable price anyway, £33. You know the quality of them from last year. You're going to come back. You're not buying into the unknown. We've got the girl sizes down on lock now as well. So reasonable, pretty nice price. And like I said, all we make is the money off it to pay for this software to run a pod for another year, and maybe any tech we need for live episodes or anything in the future as well.
Yeah.
We're not going anywhere.
Fair deal. Sign up, subscribe, buy them. Thank you.
What's been going on? James Ennigan and Piers Copeland were out in Boston on the weekend doing indoor stuff.
Yeah, they went over. Long way to go, but that Boston meet, the indoor. James did the 15, didn't he? No, the 5K, and Piers the mile indoor. Both,
Yeah.
well, Piers ran hell of a time. 3:54, did you say was Welsh record? Indoor
I think it's Welsh record. I'm not quite sure. But I'm sure I seen somewhere in passing that it was Welsh record. Hopefully it was, because when I spoke to James in the week before he went, he said, now we've had Ben Claridge on, Jake Smith, James Ennigan. The Holy Trinity has just got Tom Baird and Piers Copeland left. We've got Tom coming on some point in this year. He gave us that spin of, I'm not very interesting, but I said, that's who people like.
Yeah.
That's who people like, is the one that nobody knows. Like,
Yeah.
and Pierce has been elusive since he shushed everyone. But I only want to get him on. I mean, obviously, I want to have a good chat with him. But I just want to use the shush finger for a cover art for a thumbnail for a fucking YouTube as well.
That's the only reason.
No, I'm only joking, Piers. But yeah, James wasn't happy. I haven't seen any posts from Piers, but James wasn't happy with his run. But I did tell him, I warned him that he needs to wear his sunglasses because that's when it is fastest. He says, I'm not wearing my sunglasses indoors when there are Olympians around.
Yeah, indoors in Boston, there's some top athletes there. Yeah, I want to look cool, but there's lines.
But I did warn him. But top boy anyway, James. I'm sure you ran much better than you think you did anyway. Like,
yeah, I might not have been the time you wanted it, but obviously, running is ups and downs. You said you thought he was feeling good going into it, but hope you had a pint of Sam Adams and forgotten about it by now.
They went to watch the Celtics the night before as well.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
The Boston Celtics, a mad trade this weekend now, wasn't it, in the basketball, for all those basketball lovers?
Yeah.
Doncic to the Lakers.
For Anthony Davis, is it?
It was Anthony Davis in the first round. It was like a three-way player and some picks, but yeah, there was apparently the Mavericks have been shafted. Yeah.
When I seen it, I thought it was. Sorry, we digress into basketball, but I thought when I mix Anthony Davis and Anthony Edwards up, and then I thought, fucking hell, Anthony Edwards, he's the next LeBron, isn't he? Apparently, like.
Yeah. So no, it's like the other way. And Anthony Davis is towards the end of his career. Luka's still only mid-20s. Got Mavs to a final last year, and he's like the next big thing or a big thing. And he's
current, like he's in the mix for MVP all the time at the moment. Yeah. What else happened in Boston? Melissa Courtney Bryant flying the Welsh flag.
Yeah, won the women's 3K with a PB. Beat in like Georgia Bell, Parker Valby, loads of other stacked field with was it an 8:30 something? So hell of a run to win that race.
Cymru on bit. Well done.
Yeah.
While we're on the subject of the women, did you see that Femke Ball is not competing in any single events this year?
And what do you mean?
So she's only racing team events this year, like the relays and stuff like that. She's not doing any. Yeah, because just to do stuff outside, she said she's not getting time with everything else to do other stuff for family and friends or whatever. So she's taking a seat, still training, still doing.
Yeah.
They've got a big home meet this year. Is it in Holland or something?
Oh, I don't know. It might be the national champs or something. Is there?
She's running the relays so she can run in front of a home crowd. But yeah, big call, isn't it? Big call. Fair play to her for making that call.
Because it still was it the world champs this year? The world? Tokyo? Yeah. So yeah, I did not miss that. That's a shocking one because obviously she's right up there with, Sydney actually blasted her in the Olympics, isn't it? But still, she's one of the best at that 400 hurdles.
Yeah, absolutely. But
Surprised that.
she's still quite young, again. Well, youngish, is she?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe a year off will be,
Yeah, and then go into an Olympic cycle from there, maybe.
maybe, yeah.
Thinking long game.
What else? Where was Gracia in Boston as well?
Yeah.
Gracia.
Jimmy Gressier, yeah. He 13 dead in that 5K. But bit of controversy, wasn't it? Did you see? He
I
obviously
only
he's
know
big
what
transfer
you
to
told
Kip
me.
Run recently, but he wore Nike spikes.
When you just wait until after this event if you know you're going to do it. But you said he like dabbed them out as well
He
to
like
hide the
whited them
ticks.
out, like you could just see that they were white, but then I seen a picture of a stills, with like he whited the tick out because they were white.
But you can get
White.
away with that in the 80s and the 90s, like, but people fucking are looking at stuff like that now.
Well,
You're
see, there's
getting caught.
photographers all around that track, innit? It's like, I don't know how his sponsor feels about it, or if he asked them permission and then they just said, well, yeah, wipe them out because maybe he wasn't comfortable in their spikes, yeah, but come on, and you've taken big money to go to a new brand.
But I
Where's the
seen him.
brand?
His deal is 6 figures.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
Bottom end of 6 figures.
Yeah, nice. But yeah, he ran quick, like French record, I think it was.
I hope Nike use that in an
Yeah.
advertising campaign.
Yeah, well, it's perfect for them, isn't it? They don't need to do anything. It's like
Oh, they done again. Like,
left us, but we're still using our gaps.
what else? What else? George, son of Danny.
Yes.
Bro, I'm not a massive fan, to be honest, George. But credit where he's due. What did he do?
He ran the 3K, men's 3K, took the British record off. Oh, who did he beat now? Can't think whose time he beat now. Anyway, yeah, he ran a 7:20 odd, took the British record.
Don't know. I'm sure. Maybe it started because he's a non-athlete, right? But
Yeah, that don't help.
he's his father's son as well, isn't he?
Yeah, like you said, some of the stuff he done last year when he got tripped and the
Yeah,
more he fit, is like, well, come on.
man.
All right, I get it. Like, you've trained hard to be there, but like, you got tripped. This fucking stacked field, and you're all going off hard positions.
And then he said maybe you did have COVID, didn't he? And he said after it he'd raced with COVID and stuff like that. But if he won that race, I don't reckon he's telling anyone he had COVID as well. Like, all right, it's a
No.
reason, but keep it to yourself, like, because it's part.
Yeah.
You know?
You chose to toe the line.
Yeah. Oh well.
So you get that start line. There's no excuses then, is it? That's what I always think.
But the British athletes, male athletes, do not get much love from me, really. I just realised.
Yeah, you just realize, hang on, whoa, wait a minute, I don't like him.
Wait a
Like
minute. Wait a minute.
brilliant.
Bring back Colin Jackson.
Yeah, big call. Do you see another like up and coming British star female, Innes Fitzgerald? See the time she just put down for a 3K as well?
Just before we came on. It was on Jake's story.
Yeah, done it this afternoon. New British or European under-20 record, 8:40. She is going to be some future star. She is.
What distance?
Indoor 3,000. 3K, 3,000. Yeah, so she's going to be, well, which of you think, like, the Melissa Courtney Bryant ran 8:38 to win the race, and I think Georgia Bell ran 8:43, so she's gone quicker than Georgia Bell. She's still 18, under 20s. So yeah, she's going to be ridiculous soon. Not that she's not already.
No. Did she proudly sport the logo on her spikes?
Well, yeah, I've only seen the last bend of the lap, so I'm assuming so.
What else is going on? Russ Cook is back.
Yes.
Reaping the rewards of what he done, really. This is not as impressive as what he done in Africa by any stretch of the imagination. There's a massive support crew. He's going to be almost guided around the entire trail, right?
Yeah.
But he wouldn't be getting these opportunities if he hadn't done what he done out with Project Africa. So fucking more power to Russ Cook. But that looks quite fucking gnarly as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it's the terrain and the amount of hill. I think he said it's 300,000 feet over 3,000 miles. So it's some. Didn't realise New Zealand was that hilly. I thought it was hilly, but that's a lot. Yeah, so he's going from south to north sometime this year. Is it 60 days? I'm sure he said 60 days he's going to do it, isn't he?
I haven't had a proper look at it.
Yeah, it was. I'm sure it's 3,000 miles, 300,000 feet over 60 days, running the length of New Zealand. So yeah, he's off on another mad adventure.
Do you know what I'm happiest about with Russ Cook? That he's cut his hair.
I was going to say that he's cut his hair back.
Thank God for that. Let's go New Zealand, be reaping the rewards of the fucking astronomical thing he done after. Like,
this will probably feel like a warm up or something now when I was going to feel a piece of piss.
Yeah, you might as well do it in fucking shoes and jeans, like.
Yeah.
Right, and you don't like rugby, but we have got a little tiny caveat to get you interested in the rugby.
I think that might be the biggest understatement ever on the Run Spot. I don't like rugby.
You don't like rugby, you watch the British Lions, but you despise rugby union as an offering.
Yeah.
But
won't go into it because I don't alienate people, but it's shit.
I know. It's worse at the moment, worse than ever at the moment. Even fans think it's shit at the moment, and I'll tell you why. We got pumped 43-0 by France in their backyard on Friday night. But there's a guy on Instagram, Rodri Williams, at the real Rodri, that is doing a challenge that he is going to run 1 mile for every point we lose by in every game.
Yeah.
So this week, he had to run an ultra. 43 miles. And he's done it. He's done it already. He started at 6 on Monday morning, I think. Sunday morning. Yeah, I was working 2 days from a Saturday kickoff, and I knew it was 2 days after. Sunday morning, 6:30, and he finished about 5 o'clock, 43 miles. Bloody hell, Jesus Christ. I have spoke to him. Hopefully he's going to come on at the end of the tournament and talk about running, not rugby. Don't worry about it, Nick. I'll feel the rugby side of it.
I was going to say, he's not coming on if it's a rugby-based chat. No. If he'd done rugby in school, that's fine. No, everyone's got a background till they find the real sport. He's got a pretty cool
job. He's like a rugby content creator as well. Like, not like paid to do it. He's flies around the world and he's on the sidelines videoing it and everything as well.
Nice.
But fucking hell, boys, come on. You can't make him do 43 miles every week.
I know, fair play to him. I did see it, and obviously I seen you shared his Strava link and whatever, what he done here. Was he about 10 hours, like some star, like...
It's not bad, is it?
No, that's good going. But I did see, I think he got interviewed by BBC Radio Wales today, yes, or some time between now and Sunday, and he said if we do get pumped like that again, he may have to think about splitting it because it was so hard.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get pumped like that again. France are the best team in the tournament, but like we tell everyone on this podcast, I've been wrong before.
Yeah, like is it like 40 a lot then? Yeah, I take it.
Yeah, it's a fucking pumping.
Yeah,
we nailed it as well.
I know we didn't score a point, so that don't help.
You shouldn't not score a point, like. Sorry, didn't mean to hurt you back.
No, I leaned back too far.
But yeah.
They got my boys this week. Oh, Italy pump it as well.
Italy, this weekend. I don't even think we'll win that. But then hopefully it's like swinging margins in, and then he's only got to run 7 miles or something. Like Italy won't beat us by 50.
No, you wouldn't think you're going to get done. But if France are saying they're the best team in there, then that should be the worst it's going to get.
And Ireland, but Ireland are home, so there's a little bit more of a different advantage in as well. But that's enough rugby talk for you.
Yeah.
Quickly, that's about everything. I tell you what did just happen. Tom Mahoney sent us a message on Instagram about a run out in Denmark.
A run out in Denmark, or he's running out in Denmark?
No, I think it's a marathon, right? But every mile is a stop at a bakery.
Oh, this sounds good.
But wouldn't that be better if the run was in Amsterdam and every stop was a coffee shop?
Well, that'd be good for you. Yeah, it would be good for me or a lot of people.
Can you imagine?
You have to go and eat the muffins at every coffee shop.
Yeah, space cake every stop. Like, it'd have to be every
weeks. Yeah, they're just sitting outside on a bench for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Gone.
You're still there on Monday morning, just staring into space, like,
staring into a
what's this?
canal.
Have I got a number on my chest? What is this?
What am I doing?
Anyone see my phone? But it does look good, bakeries, but that just gets progressive. Half marathon it is, yeah. So,
Oh, is it? Because you done something before, didn't you, back when you was running through every Greg's around you, wasn't it?
in Swansea, yeah.
Swansea, yeah, like that's a good idea. I do like things like that. That's like,
I was only running past them all.
yeah, I know you wasn't stopping, but that would be good, wouldn't it, for a laugh, like, or even on a training run, just like, right, pick somewhere where there's a lot of Greg's or a coffee shops, right, you've got to have something in every one. Not coffee, because that could end bad.
Yeah. Oh, don't know, that would be mad, you know. That might be my bucket list end goal race. Like, I'm never running ever after that. I'm never coming home from Amsterdam. This is me.
This is it. Let's retire on an eye.
And I'm just going to live in a canal boat.
Yeah, that's a mad one.
Happily ever after. Right, this week we have got a man who runs through his blood. He's an Asics Frontrunner. He's the chair of Ogmore Phoenix as well, Nick, right?
Yeah, he is.
So he
all-round top man.
loves running more than anyone that I've seen on my stories, probably.
Loves parkrun, big parkrun enthusiast. He's done hundreds and hundreds. Yeah, this should be a good one because he didn't start running that long ago, really. I think it was but we get into it with him now, but I'm sure it was from getting into London along.
Oh, was it?
I'm sure it was his first ever race. Yeah, he got into London in 2012.
That's
the Olympics, I think. We'll find out more now.
Yeah, let me send the invite out and then we will get him in. We'll be right back. All right, boys and girls, this episode is supported by Racked. Are you looking to gear up your club with some custom high-quality kit? Whether it's socks, t-shirts, vests, tri-suits or bike apparel, Racked has got you covered. With Racked, you can create fully custom kit for your club, designed just the way you want them. The bespoke in-house design service allows you to bring your ideas to life. Whether you're a running club, a cycling club or a triathlon club. And it's not just about style either. Rack delivers high performance gear, perfect for all your training and racing needs. Ready to get started? Drop them an email on info@racked.online and kick off your custom design today. Welcome back, Nicky and myself. I've been joined by Chris Pratt. Chris, thanks for giving us some time. How's it going? You okay?
Yeah, I'm really good, thanks, actually. Yeah, really good. And you're very welcome.
Good to see you.
And you. And you. Always a pleasure, mate.
Same.
I think he's talking to me, Nick.
I am. Yeah, you're absolutely right, mate. You're absolutely right. Yeah, sorry, Nicky. I didn't see you there.
Oh, God. Chris, obviously we'll get on to everything you do. You mean just before you came on, we were talking about everything you do. You're an Asics Frontrunner, you're a chair of Ogmore Phoenix and so much more. But what was school like for you, like active-wise? Where did you go to school?
I went to school so my primary school was in Shepley, which is a village on the edge of the Pennines near Huddersfield. I was actually born in Home Firth, which is where Last of the Summer Wine was filmed.
No way.
Yeah, my grandma was actually on one of the episodes, episode 4 of the very first series, carrying her shopping round the corner, sort of like, and Foggy, Cleggy and Compo were walking across the road in the background, claim to fame.
That's a blast from the past.
Summer Wine, yeah, that reminds me of like being a kid and just sitting in the house on the floor with the family, the fire on, watching the telly way back in the day as well.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So Huddersfield immediately like screams rugby league territory as well. So what sports was it? Was rugby league in school up there then, or was it just rugby?
It was rugby league pretty much. I mean, we had Fartown is the home of rugby league, and that's just outside Huddersfield. The George Hotel has the sort of roots of I think there's a rugby league museum in the basement of it or something. The George Hotel in Huddersfield, but yeah, it wasn't really though a sort of focus on rugby. They were all sports. We did all sorts of stuff, and I did run. But I don't remember it being sort of the focus. I played tennis a lot. My dad played for the local side. He was captain of Thongs Bridge Tennis Club, which is just outside Home Firth. and I used to go along and sort of watch, and then I started playing for the local club, and then I played for Huddersfield for one season, and I loved that. I didn't really run, although as kids we were always in the woods. We were always running about the local village. I grew up on an estate. The estate was almost a perfect 400-meter track, so we ran around that. And I remember my dad when I was a kid. He must have read something in the paper that if you could do an 11-minute mile, you were fit. And so it keeps recalling this story of sort of running around the estate, doing 4 loops of the estate, while I went jabba 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 in his ear at 7 years old, just running alongside him while he was going, panting in the background, But so we were active because we were out all the time. I was never at home. We were always out in the woods and playing, and so really, active childhood.
Yeah. Did you take that into when you left school as well? And did you go off to university or straight into work? And was sport side by side with that, or just left there?
No, left there because I went to sixth form college in Huddersfield, went through a period of smoking and sort of, so health really wasn't high on the agenda. Neither was keeping fit. I went to uni. I was academic, and so my background is electronics, computers, all that sort of stuff, and so I went to uni, and it was all about education, academia, no fitness sort of craving whatsoever. As I was going through teenage 20s, I'm a guitarist as well, so I was, that sort of sidelined me a bit. I was playing in bands until I was sort of 18, 19, then got married, and had kids, and sort of wasn't really, there was no active sort of path that I was following really. And then I started playing five-a-side in my 30s, and I broke my thumb playing five-a-side. Yeah, I was a goalkeeper,
I was going to say, you must have been in goal.
Yeah, I was in goal, and I was. It was like one of these. It was Joe's work colleagues, and they said, "Oh, come along," and it was indoor to start with, and I went along for one match, and I must have saved about 20 goals, and they went, "Oh man, this guy's awesome. You're in the team." So I went along to the next match and let about 35 in. And then it sort of went from there. And we went through about 4 or 5 seasons of being really awful to actually be, we got promoted 2 or 3 times and all the rest of it. But in one match, I went down for a ball at close quarters. Somebody slammed it at me. I went down and hit the floor and sort of with me thumb hit the ground. At the same time, the ball hit the edge of my thumb. And it just knocked the top of my the bone off on the joint there. And so I came away, it was sort of a little bit painful, as you do. You play the rest of the match, and sort of see it out. Came away thinking, that's a bit painful, moving it around as it sort of slopped around for about 2 weeks afterwards. And then went and had an X-ray on it and ended up with 6 weeks with it in a sort of a splint. And then... Sorry, I'm waffling.
That's fine.
I do talk. And then I ended up in a splint. Of course, because I play guitar, there was no way that was going to continue. So it was like, okay, I've got to find something else. And that year, I got a place in London Marathon after applying for several years, thinking this is a bucket list thing to do. And that was my path into fitness, into running. That was 2010.
2010. Yeah, I did take the gab before we come on. I'm sure Chris started by getting into London Marathon, and that's what kick-started his sort of running.
Yeah, I'd applied several years in a row, and at the time, it was Flora, I think. Yes. It was the tail end of Flora, and Virgin took it on, and they had a rule that if you entered 4 years in a row and didn't get a place, on the 5th year, you got a place. And Virgin honoured it for 1 year. Right. So I got the place in 2010, and I'd just turned 40, and so I was delighted. This was a great milestone. And then, of course, couldn't run half a mile, gasping running up the street, all the gear, no idea, massive bottle of water, and all the rest of it, and just I didn't have a clue. And overtrained in the end, ended up really getting into it, overtrained, deferred, and ran it in 2012.
So how did you approach that? Because... then it's not so much. The internet is a wonderful thing, but if we stretch back to 2010, the internet wasn't the same beast that it is now, right?
Yeah.
Did you reach out to a coach, or did you do it all yourself, or
No.
how did you approach it?
I did it on. I can't remember what the app was. One of the major brands that I probably won't mention because it wasn't Asics, and but they had it was my coach or something, and it was sort of this gave me an indicator of what sessions I should be doing. But I wasn't in a club. I didn't join a club straight away. I just went out solitary runner. I just went out and did what I could when I could. I thought it was great when I achieved 8 miles in a week. I thought that was that was really good. And I got what I diagnosed as shin splints, and I ended up going to a podiatrist in Cardiff and spending 160 quid on diagnosis and custom orthotics for my shoes and all the rest of it. And but I remember going in and she was saying, "So, what are you up to now?" And I was like, "Well, 8 miles." And she went, "Oh, 8 mile run, that's not bad." And I said, 8 miles in a week. And I thought it was great. I thought it was brilliant. I'm doing 8 miles in a week. I'm doing 2 miles at a time, that sort of thing. So I no idea. But then I just got really into it. And the trouble is, because I probably didn't have a coach and somebody slowing me down and somebody saying, "Oh, don't do that. That's too big a jump." I was just doing too much, and ended up just with too many injuries. You know what it's like when you start out. Your knee hurts, and then your other knee hurts, and then you sort of switch from one to the other, and everything hurts, and then it starts to get better, but then something else hurts, and you just go through this cycle of everything repairing, strengthening, and getting better,
And it's no different now.
No, absolutely. Yeah, that's right. The trouble is,
people off.
we make the challenges bigger. That's the thing. You get used to it, and then you make the challenge even bigger, and then you've got another thing to pursue, and that's what can break you, But if you didn't push that far to just be on the verge of something breaking, then it wouldn't be quite so rewarding, would it?
True.
I don't think.
So you run London Marathon. That's your first race, and I guess it's not as. Again, there's more races than ever now as well, and there was no plug-in races in the build-up or anything like that as well. And it was just training for London Marathon.
Mm-hmm.
Did you anticipate it becoming this obsession for the next 15 years? And because you've got your guitar in, you were stuck to the five-a-side for a long time as well. So it sounds like, from the little conversation we've had now, it's all in or all out with you.
Yeah, it is pretty much. Yeah. It's pretty much like that. And I never anticipated at that point. It was going to be the one. I was going to do the London Marathon, tick it off. There we are. That's done. But it just, it planted a seed. It was like I did it in 5 hours, 25 minutes and 11 seconds. I don't forget that because it's on the fridge, on a fridge magnet. It was just such an amazing experience. But I then sort of dillied around for a couple of years. Then I carried on running, but I just sort of dillied around. In 2013, I did the National Lottery, did a run in the Olympic Park the year after the Olympics, and you finished in the stadium. So I signed up for that, and I did it with my son. And I did maybe, I can't remember now, I've probably got a stat somewhere, but maybe about 8 or 10 races that year, just sort of dabbling. 2014 was the same. But 2014 was when 2013 actually, I started doing parkrun at Porthcawl. And I think that is probably a turning point, because that's the point when I met lots of people, when, I sort of saw people from clubs and I thought, ooh, I don't really need to be in a club, but I like running with people, this is good, And actually I joined the club that I'm now in, that was of a different name, as you well know, Nicky, at the time.
What was it called then?
Camogger.
It was Camogger when you started, Nick, as well, wasn't it?
It was still Camogger when I first started,
Yeah. And so I joined that with the sole purpose of another chance at a London Marathon place, because they get club places. And we were netted on the understanding that, if we get 50 people, we'll get an extra London Marathon place. And you've got a chance at that London Marathon place, And so, okay, go on then, But then I went to a training session at the end of 2014, and it was literally one session just absolutely hooked me. We went up. I don't know if you've done this one, Nicky, but you go up behind the fire station, and there's a stupidly ridiculous climb of about 1,200 feet in about less than a mile.
Yes,
And, you know, it's just ridiculous. And it's like, you know, it's like, and once we got up on top, the view of the valley down to the sea, and, you know, you can almost, if you get up a little bit higher, you can see over to Pen y Fan, and, you know, and I just thought, this is amazing. I'd grown up on the edge of the Pennines, and it was similar to my home. You know, it's what it's what I remembered of going out as kids and playing in the fields and out and having these views, you know, and I was just hooked. I was hooked from that point. That run, I think I did just about every training run at club that year, you know, and 2015 as well.
Yeah, you do appreciate a good view more than most, Chris, from your Instagram, don't you?
You've been on my Instagram. I take a lot of photos. You'll notice I've got 250,000 photos on my phone. Well, not on the phone, but obviously on the cloud. But 250,000 photos.
Wow.
Yeah. I do like a good photo.
Brilliant.
It costs a fortune to put them into good old-fashioned albums now, wouldn't it?
I know it would, wouldn't it? Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't take as many. You know, in the old days, you take one. You have to think about it, don't you? Hang on a minute. This is going to cost how much to have it processed? Get everybody to stand still. Now you can just take one with them all sort of moving around. You know,
they'll come together.
Oh, so Ogmore Phoenix and Park Run, obviously. Now, you're a massive advocate of Park Run as well. How many have you done?
477.
What's the furthest one away you've done?
They're all in the UK.
Yeah.
So I've never done one abroad. So the furthest one would be somewhere up in the northeast somewhere, because we have family up there. So somewhere up sort of South Shields might actually be the furthest away. But I've done it several times. I tend to, when I go back to places where there's people I know, I tend to make friends with the core team, and then I end up going along to that one rather than touristing, you know?
Going to a different one,
Yeah.
Catching up with friends, I mean, that's what it's all about.
It is. You're absolutely right.
Exactly.
So what do you love about Park Run? What dragged you in and kept you?
I think the social aspect of it. I mean, to start with, it was definitely about the running, because if you actually look at times, my times at the start, when I first started, it's gradually getting quicker. There'd be an odd slower one, and there's this sort of slow rising curve of sort of improving times and all the rest of it. And then you can suddenly see where I realised the worth of Park Run, where I realised how fun it was and how enjoyable it can be by mixing it up, because my times just go absolutely random, you know? And it's like 1 week I'll be doing 48 minutes and walking with someone. Another week I'll be doing, I mean, I've run sub 23 times. And, you know, sometimes I'll be pushing for that, you know, and this year and last year, we've actually got a Park Run leaderboard in work. It's like the Top Gear magnetic strip type thing.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, there's a few of us who run in work, and somebody else suggested it, and as it happens, I've topped the Park Run leaderboard in work now for the last 2 years. So there's a bit of like, here he comes again, you know, that sort of thing. But yeah, sort of, you know, that's given me a little bit of incentive to push. So I tend to start in the, you know, I get in the pen near the front, you know, and sort of give it a go on more occasions than I don't. But that's my choice. That's what I love about Parkrun, is that it is what it is to you on any 1 week.
Yeah.
You know, I also do the Move Your Way 5K thing with the Cancer Charity Initiative once a month. And that's great, because you can then just slow it down, join other people, and then go back to gunning it again the week after if that's what you want to do, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. That's a great analogy of it. I found the same when I first joined the club and started running. I was the same every week. Oh, it's time. And obviously the further you get into your running, it's like, well, it's not just that. It's about, well, I love my stake now. It's on my doorstep for one, but like got to know everyone there and the core team, and then you go for a coffee after, and it's just such a great start to the weekend, I find, as well.
It is, isn't it? And you can just, like you say, you can just have a go, or you can just be there at the back supporting or doing whatever you want to do. You know, it's brilliant. I love everything about Parkrun. I think it's a fantastic initiative. And but back to Wetherspoons after is always a plus, isn't it?
Always, yeah. Cheap coffee.
Auto refills.
And if you're not running or walking, Chris, you're volunteering as well, right?
I do volunteering. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I'm chair of Ogmore Phoenix Runners, and obviously I've given a lot of time to that over the years. And so a lot of my park runs, when I go and do it, I kind of choose to run.
Yeah.
Because I'm
You're giving up your
volunteering
time other
commitments.
places.
Yeah, run through the week, and so but I will jump onto barcode scanning or other things that if I've run quickly, then I can jump onto barcode scanning and get some of that sort of the glut of people sort of through. But I like to volunteer. I love it. The things you get from the sport when you're part of someone else's journey and not just your own is pure magic. Actually, I mean, being chair of the club is a massive responsibility, but just volunteering at events or being a leader at training sessions and watching people develop and progress from never believing that they can run in a million years like I did to start with to doing ultra marathons or whatever it is, because my favorite phrase is that it's all relative. And
One of my
if
favourites as well, actually.
yeah, because I might be running 3 marathons over 3 weekends or something, but yet somebody who's going and doing 3 park runs, that's their marathon.
Yeah,
That's
just
their ultimate goal. That's their sort of, for them, that is a massive undertaking. And so I celebrate that. And I think that that's absolutely brilliant. And you get that look on their face when they're done of absolute sheer joy. You remember that from yourself and you think, just to have played a small bit of that journey is just pure magic. I love it. And so volunteering is great.
Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, completely. When I remember when I run 23 something down park run my PB years and years ago now, and you would have been down in Nick and you would have beat me, but I was just flat out buzzing to run slower than Nicky just ran and runs all the time. But it's everyone's own different journey, isn't it?
Absolutely
exactly.
right.
Your 5K at 23 minutes is just as impressive as my 5K at 18 minutes, isn't it? It's all time is really only yourself. I've said this all the time. It's only you that time really matters to. Nobody else really cares.
Yeah.
It's all you want and what you think you've achieved, and that's what's brilliant about running.
Extrapolate that up now to, for example, last year, Marathon Aruri stood at the finish line and waiting for our last runners who came in over 8 hours. They've been on their feet for 8 hours. I mean, for
around
those
that course as well.
around that course,
That's what tough it is.
that time on feet, moving forward constantly for 8 hours, that is a mammoth task. And I there's this old adage that they've got more value for money and all the rest of the stuff, but actually, that is hard work. Being on your feet for 8 hours is hard work, and so hats off to those who come in at the back of the pack and put themselves through that and actually end up, sort of completing the course. Those of us who can do it in, let's say, I mean, I've done it in 3 3/4 hours, all the way to 5.5 hours, and it was a lot harder when I did it at 5.5 hours than it was when I did it in 3 3/4.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because obviously we touched on London Marathon at the start and then we jumped straight into park runs, but that's not all you've done for the last 15 years, and you've done all lengths of races. My favourite one that I've seen, obviously, was the prison one last year. But how many marathons have we done now?
51.
51. Nick, that's more than you, isn't it?
Way more than me, a lot more than me.
Why? Why do you keep doing marathons?
I just love it. I fell in love with it the year. So after joining the club in 2015, I set myself a challenge doing 15 half marathons and lost 40 pounds that year doing that. Improved my time from like 2:05 to 1:37, and the 2 of those halves somebody convinced me I should do as a marathon, and I did Marathon Aruri.
I don't think it took much convincing, Chris, would do.
Oh no, not at all, not at all. But I absolutely loved it. It was horrible and magic at the same time, and I think that was where my love of marathon was born, at that race. And I just then coveted marathons. All the rest of the races were just training runs for the marathons.
Yeah.
I
think like your outlook on everything and everything being all relevant is one of the reasons you've been able to do so many as well, because you're not gunning it for every marathon as well, and you're enjoying the marathons and as an event more than a race, then, right?
Yep. Totally.
That prison one looked wild. That was just laps of an empty. It was empty, right? There was no inmates there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it was empty.
It was Dorchester Prison. It's a disused prison, Victorian disused prison, and company Sussex Trail Events. They run. They've done one on Southend Pier. That's just back and forth on Southend Pier. They've done one in a multi-story car park. And they've done one. They did one a few weeks ago, and they've actually got they've brought it back this year. The Tunnel Marathon, which is 100 foot down,
I've seen that
underground. Yeah. So that March 22nd, they're doing that again, and I am sorely tempted. But yeah, the prison marathon. They started us in the courtyard outside, and you go round the outside and come in through the teaching block, up 3 flights of stairs along a corridor and down 3 flights of stairs. So that's just being cruel. That's just making you go upstairs to come down them again. Then out through the outside courtyard, back in through the main entrance, through the centre of the prison, up 4 flights of stairs to the top floor, round the top floor, down a set of stairs. And these stairs are like, you go through sort of, I mean, you imagine a prison with sort of bars round the outside of the walkways. So when you come round a corner, you've got to shimmy your way through every time through that little gap that's sort of between the bars.
Yeah.
And then down the stairs that are like a curved top of the stairs and a very narrow step. Then round the second floor, down, round the first floor, down, onto the back, and then you repeat that 55 times.
55, wow.
55 times. So it's 250 flights of stairs or something like that. And I mean, somebody did count them. It's thousands of stairs, and and it was soul destroying. But I absolutely loved it.
I was going to say, I bet you still enjoyed it.
Well, I thoroughly. I mean, I was cursing, and why the hell am I doing this? And but I mean, I just things like that. It's just that extra challenge. It's just something a bit different. And the guy who won it ran it in a mankini, and the entire thing in a mankini. And every time he passed me on the stairs, I had a beautiful view of his arse there going up the stairs in front of me,
just to keep you motivated.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the motivation I needed.
Oh.
Yeah,
like he wasn't coming in your direction, Chris.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like stuff like that. I mean, when we were in lockdown, we did. I don't know if you did it, Nicky. I think you probably were involved. We did the Bilton District Running Club relay.
Was we doing an hour at the time, or 4-hour shifts, wasn't it?
Well,
I think
we did. Because there were so many runners who went in. I'll do an hour. I'll do half an hour. I'll do all the rest of it. And then there were a few of us left, and we said, well, let's make up a team. So I took a 3.5-hour shift.
That's right.
And I ran around the green in front of our house, 0.2 mile loop, 105 loops of the green outside our house, 21 miles.
I do remember that.
Yeah. And people were driving past, because I put it on Facebook, people were driving past and beeping because you couldn't join in. So people were just, driving past and beeping, and sort of, that was the support. But it was brilliant. I love stuff like that. Bit different.
Yeah. It's like you just squeeze every last drop out of the running community, and as it's not just running, is it? It's just called running. For you.
Yeah.
You squeeze, and that leads us nicely on to Asics or Asics.
All right. Well, yeah, I tell you what, I'm not sure. I mean, it's an acronym, and everybody says it differently.
Is it an acronym?
Anima sana in corpore sano, which means sound mind in a sound body.
Yeah. I knew that bit. I didn't know all the actual Latin-y words were.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But how long have you been a member of the Frontrunners now? I'm
just coming into my 5th year. So 4 years done. So I started it just in COVID, and then sort of coming out of COVID, then sort of I just applied and got in. I mean, I'd applied the year before and not got in, and I applied the year after, and Holly that year had interviewed me on Marathon Talk, and I'd done a TEDx talk on running, building a community through running, and so things like that I think just got me noticed, and so
has Holly left this year?
Holly has left this year, yes.
We knew Lizzie'd left, and I think I said to Nicky the other day, I think Holly's left as well, but I wasn't quite sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Cool. But why did you apply, and what's it like to be in the front runners? And do you have to wear Asics before you apply?
I listened to last week's and I heard your comments about that. Okay, so I mean, I did wear Asics for maybe a year or two before, and I probably would say that was something to do with spotting the front runner thing and sort of and thinking, okay, well let's try it out and see what it's all about, the gear's all about, and I love the shoes, and so they worked for me, and so it was an appropriate thing, and like I say, I got in. I think there were 2,600 in the UK applied, because you were saying in the previous one 20,000. That's globally 20,000 have applied. I think there was 2,600 in the UK in the year that I got in, and 5 of us got in. And I applied because, I mean, you can see how passionate I am about running and how much I love it. And so I figured that it was a platform to share that love of running worldwide, and sort of have a bigger reach, and be part of a bigger community, but not lose touch with the small community or the community that we've got round here, and the club and all the rest of it. And so, I mean, I was delighted to get in, and I mean, it's great. It's great being a front runner. You do get kit, obviously, to try, but you have to review it all, and honestly review it all. You get shoes every year to wear, and that's great because I don't have to spend money on shoes. But to be fair, I like the shoes so much now that I buy my own. We don't get the carbons, so I buy the carbons, because I was one of these people who thought, what's all that about? I'm not fast enough to run in carbon shoes. And then, like you were saying, Gar, that you put them on and you feel like you're sort of bouncing on the spot.
They're like pogo sticks, aren't they, when you walk?
Yeah. And so, actually, I mean, I wore them for London Marathon in 2021 when I did it again. And the recovery time afterwards, because you've got the plates are doing a lot of that work on your foot, and they're taking that work out the arch and helping the calves. Afterwards, my recovery was absolutely superb after that. But I love the gear, but also the community as well. They do try and fuse people together so that you stay with the team for a number of years, so that you do build a community, you build relationships, and that then what you're doing is sharing great products, but you're also sharing your passion for running together. And out of that, opportunities arise, And 2 years ago, I went to Budapest. I remember seeing Nicky on the train on the way home from Bridgend and having a chat about it. I got opportunity to go to Budapest to the World Athletics Championships, and we got sail. We were taken there on a boat on the Danube, and we got to train on Margaret Island with Dina Castor's husband, Andrew Castor. Was sort of coaching us in various disciplines, and those are unique experiences that many people will never get, and the expectation is that we'll share that. Then we share it on social media, and we share that they're doing that, and share the good things that Asics are doing to promote sound mind in a sound body, and
definitely.
And it sort of it works, it works for me. I don't change the way I am. I share the same as I always did. I'm not a sort of, right, I'm going to get really influencery now. I'm just doing the same as I always did. Take great photos. I love editing videos.
You do, yeah. I was going to say that was going to come on to next. You're a big fan of the edits and stuff as well, right?
Yeah.
Me too.
I mean,
that's the only reason I started a podcast.
Yeah. I mean, and you're doing a fantastic job. This is all great, because this is something that I fancied doing in Phoenix. Was having a sort of podcast thing, at some point to. But you guys have done it so brilliantly, and so I as Nicky knows, he's been to a lot of presentation nights, and I do like to have a video, and I do individual videos for all the winners, as though it's sports personality of the year. I like to make people feel like they're $1 million.
That's important about any, especially in the environment, is just to make it as best as you can. It's not the Olympics, it's not the BAFTAs, it's not the Golden Globes, but it's a night for these people that are invested into this group or project or platform or whatever. So you can make an experience as best as they can.
Yeah.
The better it is for them, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I love doing it. But I mean, I am actually stepping down as chair this year. It's my last year after 8 years.
Is there an exclusive?
No. I announced it. I announced it last year at the AGM, just so that somebody could to move into position to sort of shadow me, and and then because it's a lot of time, and we went through really tough times at the start,
Yeah.
and came through it, and then. I'm a bit of a believer in things going 5-year cycles. You can give a lot of energy to something for 5 years, and then you want to give it to something else, or somebody else can come in and sort of like carry on that energy. And the trouble is that fell in COVID, and there's no way
Yeah.
I could walk away from it during COVID. And so the time is right for somebody else to have a go. And I've been saying that what I can do now is I can devote my time to projects within the club that the club want me to be involved in, and rather than having that overall responsibility for everybody and sort of the overall running of it and absorbing that responsibility, I can just do these projects and see them through, and then have a bit of a rest, and concentrate on my own running again, because it has been impacted. Even though I've done all these races, it has been impacted over those years, and I've probably
Yeah.
not done as much as I did. 2016 was my highest running year of all, and I haven't run the same
Yeah.
number of miles since, and that's largely because of the time I devote to club stuff.
Yeah.
And that's
That's fair enough. Like you
isn't
say,
it?
you've given a lot of time to the club and to people, so
Yeah,
fair enough. Time to step away and think
yeah,
yourself a bit more, Chris.
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, there's no doubt I'll miss it.
I'm sure you'll find somebody else to give all your time to as well, Chris, by the sounds of it. But stuff changes as well, doesn't it? And like if you become a front runner, maybe after you'd become the chair, then when you took on the chair responsibility, you didn't understand the responsibilities that were going to come along with front runner and stuff as well. And
Yeah,
suddenly you're spinning too many plates, and everything gets impacted then, because you can't give full to everything. So you try and give 80 to everything or whatever, or 70, and it's just not going
yeah,
to work. But I think it's important for you to have that self-awareness to step back before, well, Phoenix and the Flames, isn't it? It burns down instead.
We
I
are not
think
burning down.
no. There's a long future ahead. The
definitely,
club's
but I think it's important, and that's probably one of the hardest decisions you've made since you started your running journey, because it's
yeah.
like a baby as well, isn't it?
It is 100%, 100%. Really difficult decision, but you've got to almost make it and say, "I'm doing this," because for a couple of years I've probably said, I've actually said at presentation nights and stuff, and said, if anybody would like to take it on, then please step forward. But while I'm still doing it, nobody's going to do that,
No, right, yeah.
And so, and for me, work has changed as well, because I used to have quite a flexible job. I was designing games and the like, and I went into teaching for a year, and that was a nightmare. Not a nightmare, but it was absorbed all my time, and I couldn't run. And so I've gone back into the gaming industry again, something that I really love, but it is more of a full-time job that doesn't give me the flexibility that I used to have. And so that I used to use that to be chairman. I could sort of get up at 6 a.m. and work a day till 2, and then I could do club stuff and that sort of thing. I can't do that anymore, and so as a result, that's also a factor.
Yeah, because you still got to pay for your carbons, Chris, haven't you?
You have to. Yeah, you're right
They're
there.
not cheap.
Yeah, no, well, they're not. I get 40% discount mine, but
Nice.
Oh, Asics are not for me.
hey,
Have we even tried them?
Do you know, the only thing I like about Asics is that's what Phil Knight sold before he discovered Nike, wasn't it? They're Osaka Tigers, isn't they, originally?
yes.
Yes.
And that's what Phil Knight was peddling out of his boot before he discovered Nike.
Yeah, before someone else gave him shoes, wasn't it?
I think Asics might have been my first running shoes, actually. I'll have to go through my photos, but I don't know. It's just, I'm so fickle. I don't care about the performance. It's the logo on the side.
He's
I just don't like the Asics logo, but I love everything they do and everything that you do with them as well. And like I said, they are doing a massive service to running. With the Asics Frontrunners, like nothing that's been seen in any other brands as well.
No, is it?
No.
Nope.
And
no, it is good. Like you say, it's just getting sort of your normal club runners, your normal person, then giving them a great chance to be with a brand, isn't it? Because like there's not many. Well, I don't know any other brand that does it.
No, I don't think there is.
No, it's a really good initiative, and it is. There have been and there are runners of all abilities on the team, and that's what makes it great. Everyone feels $1 million because of that, and so it is a great thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And the vetting of applicants is second to none. What's next, Chris? What's your next plans? Now you're setting down his chair. Any plans for this year?
Yeah, okay. So I've got Seville Marathon now on 23rd of Feb.
Ooh, Emily Marchant is out there gunning for big time, isn't she?
Who's that?
Emily Marchant. We had her on in season 1. She's out there gunning for a big time.
Yeah, yeah. And I want to do... I've wanted to do for a number of years now. I mean, my target is 100 Marathon Club. I want to get membership to 100 Marathon Club. So I want to try and get them in fairly quickly. And I've got on my radar 10 marathons in 10 days this year.
Did you know that? Sorry to jump in, Chris. That 100 Marathon Club, official marathons or just running the distance?
No, they have to be official marathons.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and that's... that's part of the battle. There are a lot of people who've run a lot of marathons, and I've run a lot of marathons in training runs and all the rest of it. But yeah, they have to be official marathons, and you have to list them on a spreadsheet. You have to provide that spreadsheet when you get to 50. I haven't done mine yet, but you become an associate member for. You have to be that for 6 months before you can progress to be a full member. But I've yet to submit that, but yeah, it's a target of mine is to get in that for no reason other than I love marathon, and it's just another thing to get another sort of accolade in, to get some kind of. But 10 marathons in 10 days, I think is a good. It's a real good test of endurance and persistent endurance, being able to sustain that over. I mean, it's a risk. Because of course you find an injury on day 2 and that's it. And it's not cheap, because you've got to pay for 10 marathons in advance.
So is that an event in itself then, or is it 10 marathons dotted across the world?
No, it's 10. It's an event in itself. So run by one of these companies who does looped events. So. There's 2 companies, Phoenix Running and Saturn Running, and they both do one in Staines, one in Walton on Thames by the side of the Thames, and they do it's an out and back 5K that you just do 8 times over. Yeah, I know.
For 10 days in a row.
For 10 days in a row. Yeah, same stretch. No, it's the same 5K. But it's flat as a pancake because it's on the banks of the Thames.
Yeah.
Take the positives.
Yeah, I know. And you've got to eke out every positive of a situation like that.
Yeah, you have. Yes.
But
great views.
Again. Sorry, go on.
Great views.
Oh, I'll take lots of photos of the Thames and the same stretch of the Thames.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a bit like Lisbury 8. It's like same hedges and country lanes for 8 miles.
Looks the same there, just in a loop.
That's a wonderful way to spend this year, I guess. What a journey. Chris, you've given so much to running, and I remember you were on a mic last year in Bethcall 10K as well. Are you running in this year, or are you back on the mic this year, or nothing confirmed yet?
I would imagine back on the mic.
Do you enjoy that bit of it as well?
Oh, I love it. It's brilliant.
We dipped our toes into it this year, and it's an all new skill, isn't it?
It is, yeah. You sort of, I mean, the thing is, you stood there thinking, I've said the same thing over and over and over again. But of course, the runners don't care.
No,
it's only the spectators who are stood next to you who are getting bored, with the same thing. But I love it. The first year was a little bit sort of, what am I doing here? What am I going to say? But actually, you just fall into the patter of calling out clubs, people's names, well done, smile, you're halfway. So, and you just go round and round the same sort of, and then it just becomes natural. And just, people coming up after, I love that cheer that you gave me at halfway. That was a real big boost, It's brilliant. Yeah. Awesome.
Absolutely. Right.
I might even do Tonopandi Classic.
Get up there. That was good. That was a good event.
And be very last, And
yeah. You'll have to wrestle the mic out of James Thee's hand for that, I think. Oh, what a journey. Nick, have we missed anything?
I seen you post, Chris, you're doing a rurry again as well?
I am doing a rurry, and I know you are as well.
Yes, I am.
Ninth time for me now.
Oh, is it? Wow.
Yeah, again, that's just my. I mean, you're going to ask questions in a minute. I know you're going to ask it, so I'm not going to say anything.
You know, you're coming back now, and you're handing over stewardship to the Phoenix. Are we looking back at PBs now as well? Taking some of them down?
I'd really like to. You know, I mean, my 5K PB is 1939, and that's an age grade of 72.18%. Not that I'm focused on stats at all, but to run 72.18% now, I'd have to run a 2040. So last year I ran 21:37, so I'm within a minute of it. So that would get me down to the same age grade as when I ran 1939 back in 2016. So I'm sort of that's the first goal. But if I can get sub 20 again, then that 1939, and there's no reason why I can't. I mean, I ran my 21:37, and I'm carrying 20 odd pounds more than when I ran my 1939. So on pure sort of calculation alone of weight loss versus, extra minutes a mile that you can eke out because of that, if I was to get back down there, then I reckon that's for the taking, even though I'm now 54 and I was 46 when I did that, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Get to a flatter park run.
Well, this is it. I mean, all my fastest marathon times are on hilly courses. My PB is at Kielder in Northumberland, which is stunning. If you ever get a chance to go up there, it's a man-made lake, and it's literally round the edge of the man-made lake. The whole distance is 26.2 around the edge of the lake. Run by Steve Cram's Events of the North. Fantastic event. But I ran 3:39 there, and that's 2,000 feet of elevation. So I've never done a flat marathon. And I'm not really in the right zone for Seville to be a fast one, but I reckon I've got PB opportunity there at marathon as well in the future. So, nothing's off the cards, and I've got a bit more time to focus on training now. So,
definitely.
I target anything. I just love running. So
it's always good to have that goal as well, isn't it? It's like, can I get back there? Well, why not? Isn't it? Well, age is just a number, as we say, and if we can get back to the consistent training, same for anyone out there, get back out there, get that consistency in the training, and any number's achievable if you put your mind to it.
Indeed. Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you very much. That's flown by. That's been over an hour, I think, nearly, Chris. But we'll take a quick break, and then we'll obviously go Nicky's favourite questions and some couple more questions, and then we'll wrap it up, okay?
Nice one. Yeah, brilliant.
Welcome back. After a short break, we've got Nicky's favourite section, and then a couple of questions off Instagram, staple questions, and we are done. Ready, Nick?
Yeah, here we go, Chris. I'm sure you know some of these, haven't you? Said you did last week. So, favourite shoes?
My favourite shoes? Okay, so they have to be the Asics Gel Kayano because they're a great workhorse shoe. I mean, I need stability shoes, or at least in the early days when I was running, when I was diagnosed with shin splints and all the rest of it, I was told I needed orthotics in stability shoes. I've always run in stability shoes, but I've changed my gait now to run more midfoot, a cleaner run, and I've run in Metaspeed Skies at marathons and not had problems. So I don't think I need to run in stability anymore, but I just love the Kayano, great shoe. And on the trails, Trabuco Max, Asics Trabuco Max, they're just fantastic shoes, like running in slippers. on the trails, which is
on the trails.
Yeah.
Nice. Favorite distance?
Do you need to ask that?
No,
marathon.
But these are my staple questions. So I knew that, but here we are.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Favorite place to train, or your favorite route to train?
Now, so we moved to Tondi 4 years ago now, and I like running up from here, up through Park Slip and up Craiger Aber.
Great route, that. Yeah.
Once you get up there, Craiger Aber, you've got Margam, you've got all the way over to my Steg.
Yeah.
You know, you can go anywhere from, and I just love being up there and just exploring the trails up there. So that's just a lush place to run. We're so lucky. I mean, we're so lucky. I mean, I can run 7 miles one way and be in the dunes and by the sea, and I can run the same distance the other way and be up in the mountains.
No,
you know,
it is.
I mean, it's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, we don't do too bad for running around here.
Yeah,
I'm on sometimes too many hills, but then I wouldn't want to be in a city and flat and nowhere to go.
Exactly. If I want a flat tarmac route, Porthcawl, I'll just run on the seafront because I did 22 miles last year training for a marathon, running around Porthcawl seafront, just that loop, lower prom, upper prom, lower prom, upper prom, lower prom, upper prom, and because it just the sea is always there.
Yeah,
you know.
Your favourite race?
Marathon Arari, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. 9th time now this year, and I've done it in, like I said before, almost 6 hours. I've done it in 3 3/4 hours. I've just done it in every time with every different experience, but the scenery, the conditions are wildly different each time. The camaraderie between runners, the loneliness of the miles on that back straight from 16 to sort of 20, and then that tough ending, but coming down into Llanberis at the end is just pure magic. I mean, if you've never done it, you really should do it. It's a brilliant race. So I'll see you there, Nicky.
You will. I'm coming back.
Yeah, good man.
And last one, bucket list race.
Comrades.
Oh, nice. Good choice.
Yeah, definitely. Jo grew up in South Africa. She's lived in both Durban and Pietermaritzburg. And so that's been on my target for a while. I need to just get clear training for that so that I can give it a good shot and decide whether it's going to be an up or a down.
Yeah, you got that option.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's a great choice, actually. That's something that is in my mind because I watched Ben Park's video of it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I've obviously heard of it for years. Well, Lee has done it, Gar. Lee Davis has done it. From my stake, Lee does the ultras, he's done it.
Oh, yeah.
So when we get him on, we'll have to discuss it. But yeah, it looks a great race.
Yeah, I fancy that. Yeah.
That's it for me, Gar.
Lovely, jubbly. Right, Chris. What is the funniest thing that's ever happened to you in a race?
In a race?
Yeah.
The funniest thing?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I don't know. I'm stumped. I'm speechless.
Is there anything topsy in that man's butt?
No, probably not. That's probably a high. I mean, same sort of experience running alongside Rhino Boy Chris around the prison as well, and trying to watch him negotiate steps and all the rest of it. I have to say, I don't think I've had any incidents on races. It's sort of. I did have a race photograph once where there was running down my leg, and somebody did think that I'd done a Paula Radcliffe, but it wasn't the case. But I don't know. I can't think of anything different to that.
Okay. Someone wants to know, what's the best way to get rid of shin splint while still being able to run?
Ooh. Well, I mean, for me, it was to find orthotics. So in the shoe, these were custom orthotics, so they were designed to push my instep up so that I wasn't putting as much downward pressure on the inside of the shin, and compression socks. I wore those when I was suffering with shin splints. I wore them religiously, and like 24 hours a day. I mean, obviously I changed them daily, but I bought loads of pairs of compression socks and wore them all the time because it just keeps that calf tight to your shin. And I found that worked for me. But I mean, the thing is, the advice you've got to give is go and see a professional, because you've got to have it properly diagnosed. Because in the end, I don't know if you know Gav Gates. He was my sports masseur, and he found that my plantar was incredibly tight, so he ground that away. And I had what it was doing is on the bottom of the foot, the plantar was really tight. It was going round the ankle, and it was rubbing against the side of the shin. And once he'd freed that up, I actually had far less problems after doing that. So it really, best advice: go and see a professional.
Yeah, that's how you say, man. Great then, Chris. In the interest of time, which song are you going to add to our every question has been answered throughout the podcast. So that always happens. Because you go through the podcast, it's like you go to the questions and it's got, we've answered that, we've answered that, we've answered that. So what song are you adding?
I'm going to be really, I'm going to give you a weird one now. And when I grew up, I liked rather diverse music. And one of the bands that I really liked was an Irish band called Stump.
Yeah.
And I saw them several times, absolutely loved them. And although I don't listen to them as often as I should now, you can put the song Buffalo on your playlist if you can get it on the playlist.
We will. Well, I say we look. I never build the playlist, but Aaron Bishy, has taken it upon himself during his breaks to start building the playlist for us. So we should have the playlist soon. So Bishy, find Stump Buffalo.
Yeah,
I'm sure I'll find it on Instagram Reels somewhere anyway.
Yeah.
And you know the last one, Chris. Who's playing Chris Pratt in a movie of his? There is a Chris Pratt, isn't there?
That's my answer. There you go. I am he.
Wondering if it would go there.
Yeah. When I was teaching, they actually they used to refer to me as Star-Lord. That was my name when I came into class. Star-Lord's here. Hiya, Star-Lord. They loved it. They thought that was hilarious. So, I mean, I can't go with anyone else. Although Scott, I think, said Tom Hanks, didn't he? He's my favourite actor, so I'd like him to play me.
But Scott only had it because he had curly hair.
He did say that, didn't he? Yeah.
I like Chris Pratt.
Yeah, I like Chris Pratt and all. Yeah, I mean, we've been to Vegas a few times. In fact, I was due to do the Vegas Marathon in 2020 when COVID hit.
Yeah.
In the November. It would have been my 50th marathon. So I'm absolutely gutted about that. However, on the times where we've been there and you go up sort of to the comps desk or something and you give your passport over and they go, no way, it's Chris Pratt. It's sort of like, look, I am Chris Pratt, but not the Chris Pratt.
His is not that good.
Did you see that? There was a new cereal out, wasn't it, like last or the year before, and their whole advertising campaign was recommended by like Denzel Washington, and then with an asterisk by it, and it'd be like, no, not that Denzel Washington from Norwich. But yeah, Chris Pratt, great in Jurassic Park. Parks and Recreation is one of the best sitcoms of all time as well, so I'll allow it. Chris Pratt is played by Chris Pratt.
Thank you.
Chris, thank you ever so much for your time. We will definitely cross paths as it gets lighter now as well, park runs and races and stuff. I know I'm doing Perth 10K this year, so I'll definitely see you there.
Yeah.
Nick, anything to wrap it up?
Yeah, Chris, nice to see you. We don't see each other much anymore. I don't get bloody training or anything as much as I should. I will be trying soon.
Sort it out.
I will. I know now I can hopefully start getting fit again. I will. But great to speak to you, mate. That was a great chat. Thanks for your time, and everyone else, thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the start line somewhere soon.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.